Hello, ladies and gentlemen, everyone between and beyond. My name is Taylor, and welcome to episode 20 of the OverAchievers Podcast, Dinner is Served. Now, joining me today is our longtime and pretty frequent guest. Please help me welcome Jon.
Hello, it's me, it's Jon.
But not only is Jon here today, we also have another guest who you have seen once before on the podcast in our weeb-centric episode covering Ghost of Tsushima. We have Robby.
Hello, I'm very weeb-centric.
So, for those of you who don't know, Jon and Robby have been friends for a very long time. Thousands of years, some might say. And they originally started the JarDev, or Jon and Robby Development YouTube channel, which eventually became Noiseberry Games, the channel which I've been featured on many a time. So, Robby is kind of one of the progenitors of the channel. You may have seen him in the Dear Jon video as well. He is quite, how do I say this? Quite, immersed in the lore of the channel and is very prominent, as he should be. And if you didn't know, Jon and Robby played a very special game together where they almost killed each other multiple times, but somehow managed to stay alive and get all achievements for this game. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, Jon or Robby, take your pick. Who would like to introduce today's game?
Do you want to take it away, Robby?
All right, I did write a little bit of a script for this, so I'll do it.
Sweet.
All right, the game that Jon and I played that we 100% achievemented is called Played Up. And it's a wild and crazy restaurant/kitchen co-op game with similar vibes to games like Overcooked, but with more emphasis on setting up your restaurant in whatever way you want, with the goal / objective being to keep your restaurant open for as long as possible before your customers effectively torch your business.
Okay, that's very succinct. Now, when you say effectively torch, do they literally torch your business?
No.
Like, is there a mechanic where they can just come over with a Molotov and just burn it down?
So funny.
That would be amazing.
That'd be so good.
But no, you just end up in the paper as like, restaurant owners suck, and they just close your restaurant, basically.
Wow, well, that's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame. All that hard work, and just because we couldn't seat two more people, they're like, F you, your restaurant sucks.
Isn't that how it goes in real life?
Well, it's usually if the lineup outside your restaurant is so long that people can't get in, your restaurant doesn't get shut down.
Yeah, people
Fair.
just leave.
Fair.
Yeah, but
And then they write really bad reviews.
But in the game, it's like, wow, people are enjoying the inside of your restaurant so much, but I can't, so your restaurant doesn't deserve to be a thing. Sucks to suck.
Yeah,
Imagine if we lived in that society.
I feel like we're getting there in some ways, honestly.
Oh, God, yeah.
I do want to address something. I don't think like Robby and I really fought when we played this game. I think Overcooked would be more rage-inducing as a co-op game, but I think Played Up,
It absolutely was.
we were very tactical and it needs a lot of cooperation. So I don't think we got at each other during this game. I think it was very teamwork focused.
Jon, you're ruining the clickbait intro.
Oh, sorry, but we're past that. People have clicked.
They're already here.
Yeah, but I gotta get them to stay. My retention rate is terrible, especially on the podcast.
Plot twist. There's lots of torching that I talk about later. Stick around.
I mean, we probably yelled at each other a lot, but it was usually in, just that's what we do.
No, and yeah, you guys are definitely a lot more cohesive than Jon, you, Chris, and I.
Yeah.
Especially Chris and I.
I can't imagine how different the vibe would be from me and Robby playing Played Up to the three of us playing Played Up.
Well, I feel too, with Overcooked, and this is something I want to address because they did a series on it. It is not them getting all achievements, just them playing the game, which the entire playlist will be linked in the description down below. Please, by all means, go and watch it. It's much more of a roguelite fashion, from what I can tell. And like you mentioned, Robby, you set up your restaurant, you design it, you alter it with whatever you're given, and then you kind of have more control in that sense, whereas Overcooked, you just obviously have to do whatever recipes are telling you to do with absolutely insane conditions. I feel like we would be better at this one because we have more control and could just have designated roles, but then Chris would just be running around, and I couldn't just throw him off a building.
Very true. Yeah, Overcooked is very... You have to work out how to complete whatever level it is, and you have to kind of adapt to how the game wants you to play. But Played Up, you very much, you design your restaurant how you want, you pick which recipe you want, and as you go day to day, it just progressively gets a little bit harder, because it's a roguelike, and then eventually it all just gets too much for you and you fail.
It was interesting for me to see that you guys are given different recipes as the game goes on, though.
Yeah, you start with, what is it, like 3 recipes or something?
Yeah, 2 or 3 that they start you off pretty like minimal, which in some ways kind of probably puts some people off because there's a bit of like a steep curve to actually getting more interesting things to do in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like in some ways, like one of the starting recipes is the steak, and customers will order steak in 3 different ways. They'll have it rare, medium, and well done. And I don't know, like I find the steak one of the hardest dishes in the game to deal with.
It's true. We haven't
Fair.
actually done steak that many times because of
No, because it's not very fun and it's difficult.
Well, I mean, they're all the wrong choice of steak too. If you're gonna get a steak, you have to get it medium rare. Like that is the law. So like, I refuse to play this game just on grounds that people are getting their steak well done.
I mean, you could
I would just kick them out of my restaurant then and there. Like, no, you don't exist anymore.
you could theoretically skip steak completely if you don't want all achievements, because you start with salad. You can do salad instead.
Huh.
Yeah, or possibly
you could-
burgers. I think that was one.
you could only serve customers that order a rare and a medium steak, so that it averages out to be 2 medium rare steaks.
True.
Okay.
Your restaurant wouldn't
Fair,
last very
fair.
long, but you know
No,
you
you'd fail.
could do it. But you'd get
I mean,
the
my
achievement.
restaurant wouldn't last.
You would get
You
the
would get the
achievement.
achievements.
So
My restaurant wouldn't last very long if I did that in real life anyway.
how would you like your steak? Medium rare? No, actually, okay, yeah, sounds good.
Here's your medium rare
Yeah,
steak.
how would you like your steak? Well, how would you like your steak, sir? Well done. Get out. just get out of my face.
We
You
only
just turn
do
around and
medium
walk
rare.
away. That's what you'd name your restaurant. That's what we
Yeah.
sometimes named it. If we did like a pizza restaurant, we would like call it "We Only Serve Pizza."
So yeah, there's a fun way you can set up the restaurant. Like basically every few days you get a card that will either give you like a new recipe or give you like a, I don't want to call it like a buff, but like
Like a modifier.
yeah, a modifier that can be either
Mm,
good or
mhm.
bad. And if you take the food recipe, most times it reduces the number of customers that you get, so it makes it more manageable because now you have more things that you have to prepare. But we often would do restaurants where we just made one thing, or like one thing with some minor variations, and oftentimes those restaurants were called "We only do X," pizza,
Fair enough.
other thing. So
That makes sense, yeah. And
Especially-
I find special... Sorry, go ahead, John.
I was just gonna say, like, especially as you get further into your run, you start getting the option of setting up automation. And if you only have one dish, like a cheese pizza, super easy to automate. And then, like, in those cases, sometimes Robbie could even leave the kitchen completely, because Robbie was always our chef. So it's I don't know. There was multiple reasons we would stick with just the one recipe.
Oh, and that makes sense. And I find even like in real life, the restaurants that specialize in one thing tend to have an easier time because it's like you said, it's fewer ingredients to deal with, it's fewer prep items, stuff like that. Now, I'm curious, and I don't know if you guys know the answer, because I know you can choose to add like additional stations or like additional things to your restaurant in terms of like prep stations or how to prepare different ingredients. Could you kind of control what recipes you were given as an option by not choosing certain prep tables or like prep items, or do you have to take those things as it gets more complex?
If it's gonna offer you a new recipe and you take that, it will give you whatever station is missing. So like if you were just doing like salad, you don't have to cook salad, but then they offered you burgers or whatever, and you took burgers, they would then give you like a meat freezer and also a hob to cook them on. So like
and buns.
Okay.
and buns. But yeah, you
Gotta
couldn't.
get them buns, hon.
You can't force it to not give you food dishes because that will come up constantly.
Gotcha. Okay, so I was mistaken. I've watched all the videos, but apparently I wasn't paying enough attention. I was wondering if you could get the prep stations first, and that would unlock the recipes, not the other way around. But no, that makes more sense. Or else, yeah, you could just completely control what you were given by saying, I don't want this prep station, I want this other decoration.
Yeah. No, I mean, you still can to a certain extent, but eventually you're gonna want to take a recipe because you'd need to lower the number of customers coming in, otherwise it just gets too much.
And then they shut down your
That
restaurant.
makes sense. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So let's get into the actual questions now. Sean, I guess I'll throw this one to you. How many achievements does this game have?
So it's less than I was expecting, but the playtime is probably still going to shock you. This game only has 26 achievements.
That is not a lot.
No, it's not a lot.
I don't know how many like Overcooked or other kind of, I don't want to say restaurant management games have, but like, I don't know, it feels like this should be like a 30 to 40 achievement game, not a 25 to 26.
Yeah, Overcooked 2 has 54.
Holy crap. I was expecting 15 for this one when I went to go check how many.
Oh, really?
I was like, aren't that many. And, yeah, I was surprised.
Okay. So, I don't really have an order as to who I want to answer first, so I'll let you guys decide on gentleman's order.
You just want us to fight to the death? Every
pretty
time,
much.
every single question, you just want us to like go at it.
Tell you what, we'll trade off. Okay, so Robbie answered the first one first. John answered the second one first. So Robbie, this one's back to you for first go. Like when you tried to get all achievements, was that your first? Like, did you go into the game with that intention, or did you kind of decide on that later? You know, was your all achievements run the first time, or did you decide on it the first time you started playing the game?
So when we started playing, I didn't actually own the game because it's kind of cool. The game lets you invite your friends to play co-op with you, and I think you have to download some like guest client thing.
Okay.
But yeah, basically through Steam, I was just playing on John's copy, so we just got his achievements first. Basically.
Okay.
So we hadn't really planned to get the achievements when we started. We were just having fun messing around, and then after we got proficient, we were like, yeah, let's just figure out how to do all these achievements for fun. They're pretty wild and wacky, some of them.
Okay, so you guys had to play it twice effectively.
Yes.
Like on John's copy and then on your copy.
Yeah.
Basically, for some of them. So
Okay.
there are some achievements, once I eventually bought the game, there are some achievements that I unlocked while we were trying to finish up John's. But there are some, like the ones where you have to deliver a certain food type, like deliver a burger to a customer, deliver a salad, all of the different types of recipes. Those only work when you're the host. So.
Oh, interesting.
Which is quite strange. Like, yeah.
I don't know if that's intentional or just like an unfortunate
An oversight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to add, I'm pretty sure, like I got a review copy for it, and so like we played it the very first time for a video. So like the very first time we played it, we obviously had no intentions of going for achievements, but I think we did the video and we were like, man, that was really fun. Do you want to keep playing this? Because like we only planned on, spending a week playing it, and then we just kept going. And like Robbie said, after we got more into it, we were like, I think we can probably go for all achievements.
Okay, nice. I'm happy it came to such a positive conclusion.
And it even made my Games of the Year list last year.
I forgot about
It was
that.
number 3. I love this game.
Huh.
It's an amazing game.
I feel like it probably would have been like your Game of the Year.
Honestly, it might have been.
Yeah, probably.
Wait, oh yeah, Robbie, you didn't have a list last year, did you?
I don't play enough new games every year anymore to have a list. It's like I'm like scrounging. Like, does DLC count? Does a game that I bought 5 years ago that I started playing this year count? So
Does this game we played 20 minutes for a video count?
Yeah, it was just yeah.
No, that's fair. I've definitely been in those kinds of spots where I've like only played 5 games that year, and it's like I don't even feel like some of them deserve to be on that list sometimes, and then it gets rough. I totally understand that.
I still ask
But
Robbie
this
every
video,
year, but he doesn't. He just doesn't have enough to make up the list.
That's fair. I feel that. Well, this video is not going out until January, so
Whoops.
the list or lack thereof will not be out, or sorry, will have been out, well before this video goes up. So no need to worry. So there's not going to be spoilers.
Okay, good.
At least in the public side. You can spoil it for me. I don't mind, but the public won't get any new information.
Fair enough.
Okay, so John, we'll start with you on this one. Have you gone back? Like, have you either played solo or together since you guys got all achievements?
Well, since you asked, I've literally never played this game solo. Every single minute I've played this game has just been with Robbie. But yeah, I don't think we even stopped. Like, we got all achievements, and then we went right back to it the next week. We decided once we got all achievements, we would download some mods, because it's got Steam Workshop support, and a ton of really cool mods on there that add new recipes, like some really, really in-depth ones. Like, we weren't expecting them to be so good. So we played with a bunch of mods for like a few weeks afterwards. And then, we'd been playing it for, I don't know, like probably almost a year straight. And we were like, we need to take a little break from it. So we're on a break from it right now. But like whenever they add a new update, I think there is actually an update from a few weeks ago that we just haven't had a chance to play.
Oh my goodness.
Robbie's been in Japan for 2 weeks, so we missed several weeks of playing games. But I think probably next time we play games, we'll probably go back to Played Up, honestly.
Yes.
So do you think you'll ever make a video on like some of the modded content?
That's not a bad idea, honestly. Yeah, probably.
Because like this is the first time I've heard about you playing mods. Like, and I've seen all the videos, and you played with updates and stuff, but you never really mentioned mods or things that you were using.
Yeah, I think we only played with mods. I think we only played with 2 mods so far. But yeah, I think like if a new mod comes out and we see it pretty close to release, I think we'd probably turn that into a video. Yeah, I like doing Played Up content.
Yeah.
Okay. So Robbie, similar question for you. Have you ever played this game solo, or has it always been with Jon?
Nope, it's pretty much only ever been with Jon. I don't think I like the game a lot. In fact, I would go as far to say as I love the game, but I don't think I'd have fun playing it by myself. Like, it's just so much better with friends.
It's like me and Dark Souls.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, because and I'll get into that a little later in another video. But yeah, I feel the exact same way about the Dark Souls franchise. I love it, but I can't enjoy it nearly as much solo.
That's nice.
So, and I get Dark Souls is definitely more of a solo experience than this game, because I cannot imagine trying to do this game alone. Like, that would be a nightmare.
No, me
But
neither.
I can appreciate.
I've never even I've never tried playing it solo. I don't think I've ever even seen solo gameplay of this game. I have no idea how it works without a friend.
Yeah,
that'd be rough.
Trying to franchise solo, I can't imagine. Honestly.
No,
you have to be so good.
Like in the game, there's like a very clear divide. There's, or at least how we play, somebody is the chef and cooks all the dishes, and somebody is the server and takes all the dishes to the customers. And for the most part, like Robbie's always been the chef pretty much. And for the most part, Robbie just doesn't leave the kitchen, and I hardly ever go into the kitchen unless I'm collecting dishes to take out. So I can't imagine having to cover both of those roles.
Yeah.
That's very fair. So I'm curious then, how did you guys decide on the roles? Did you just decide suddenly, oh, Robbie's the chef and you're the server, or was there a bit of a fight about it? Because like in the video, it looked like you guys had already kind of predetermined who was going to do what, but I wasn't sure if there was a conversation outside of that recording as to kind of what would go down.
I don't know. I feel like we just gravitated towards that. When you start the game, you really do just bumble your way through learning all the systems. I feel like Robbie just gravitated towards the kitchen, and I just gravitated towards serving. Like, I don't think we ever discussed it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was very natural and organic. It just happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. All right, awesome. So this is going to be an interesting one. I'm lost as to who was first on this one now.
I think this one's Robbie.
We're just going to go with... Okay, cool. We're going to go with Robbie. Robbie, how much gameplay, like how much game time do you have in the game, and how much do you think like of that was getting all achievements versus how much is kind of post all achievements?
So this one's kind of a tough one for me to answer, because I bought the game way later than when Jon picked it up. So I have 97 hours on the record. I would need to know what Jon's hours are in order to find out if that includes the time that I spent just playing when he had his copy, or if that's just after I bought mine.
Yeah, so funnily enough, Robbie bought his probably like halfway through our game time. But his version actually tracks the time we played together, because I also have 97.5 hours.
Ah, amazing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that I didn't know Steam did that. Like, Robbie only owned it for half of that time, but it still counts all the time he played with me as time he's played in the game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So it's tough to answer because, I mean, I guess you could say it took us 90, but I would say about 90 hours because we played a couple sessions after we'd done the achievements for us to get both sets of 100%. And part of that is because in order to unlock all of the achievements, you have to level up in the game enough to unlock all the dishes. And that was really what slowed us down.
Gotcha.
Like the hard achievements, quote unquote hard ones, didn't stop us. It was I needed to get enough experience in order to level up my character to the point where I could unlock the recipes that I needed to unlock the achievement.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And like experience gain is like pitifully slow in this game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's always fun.
Like it's still fun playing it, but like you get to franchise your restaurant after you've done 15 days, and any time after those 15 days is just overtime, which means you've got a really good kitchen going. We would always reach overtime, like pretty much no matter what. And I would say it would probably take like 5 overtime restaurants in order to level up once.
Oh my god.
But that said, like
And
when you franchise your restaurant, you have the option to keep it, so you can go back and try and re-franchise it. So after 15 days, you franchise, and you basically save your restaurant. And if you fail before then, your restaurant gets basically deleted. And at the end of the franchising, like if you franchise it and then when you fail, you have the option to keep it, or you can turn it in for XP. And we never really turned in much in order to generate more XP. So it's not like we really maximized my experience gain so that we could get my achievements unlocked faster.
True.
We kept them because we were having fun.
Yeah.
No, that's fair, and fun is the most important by far.
Yeah, and it was pretty much all fun.
That's good. That's really good, and it's definitely a rare case to hear that it's always been fun, especially on the podcast. Unfortunately,
I don't know if like Robbie, you took a stab at like guessing how long we each took for all achievements.
I looked up on how long to beat what the average apparently was for a completionist, but I don't know what we took. So it says for completionists about 47,
which is
now I'm on that same site. Sorry, John. I'll just real quick. I'm on the same site. How long to beat? They've only polled 2 people, so it's a minute sample size.
Yes.
So I take that with like a truck ton of salt.
That was for
As
completionists.
to whether or not that's actually accurate.
Yeah, completionist was 47 or 46 maybe, and then there were I think a few more for some of the other ones, and they were like 48. So I was like, 47 is kind of a close average, maybe ish. But
interesting. That's only from 2 people. Jeez, no wonder that number seemed kind of off to me.
Yeah.
So like Robbie said, it was probably about 90 hours for us to get both for us to both get all achievements. Because there's such a steep learning curve with this game, I would guess, like, I probably got my last achievement at about 60 hours, and Robbie probably only took about 30 hours to get all of his, because we knew what we were doing in Robbie's, and
That makes sense.
like Robbie said, some of them unlocked, like, automatically because of the time he played in my game. So yeah, I think I would guess, like, mine was about 60, Robbie's was about 30, which almost takes us to the how long to beat average.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It takes you to like almost 45-ish.
Yeah, almost.
Huh.
which
Okay, so maybe it's not that unreasonable.
when you think about it though, like for a game like this to take 45 plus hours to do 100% completion on, when like there are single player story games that are like half that time, that's bonkers. But
That is crazy.
I mean,
Yeah, I do wonder
Wait,
how
are
it
you
compares.
guys are you guys the 2 they polled on how long to beat? Are you just lying to me right now?
yeah, that's us. Oops.
Whoopsie.
Insider trading. Okay, so John, let's start with you on this one. What were the hardest and easiest achievements for you personally?
Yeah, I'll be interested to see like how similar or differently Robbie and I answered these. So my easiest achievement I said was the Health Inspector achievement, which is where you complete a day with a mess on at least 10 tiles. So mess in the game is when customers eat food or when you're cooking certain things on hobs, just little spots of dirt and mess will appear on the floor. And if you walk through them, it slows you down. So you can clear it up by hand, or you can speed it up by holding a mop or a scrubbing brush in your hand. And eventually you can get robot mops, which just randomly walk around and clear up the messes. And at a certain point in the game, I just stopped clearing up messes because I would just make my way around them because it was too much effort to try and clear them up.
Now, the big messes are like actually debilitating. Like if you step on the square that's got the big mess in it, like you cannot move. You're stuck. You're useless.
And it takes like,
I'd seen...
Sorry,
go ahead.
10 plus seconds of holding down X to scrub one of those big messes up.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So if I can just walk around the tile, I do it.
Yeah, because I've seen in the videos that you guys, like, were definitely slowed down by the mess tiles, but I didn't see a big one yet.
I don't know, we
rough.
We probably used to stay more on top of it, but, towards the end, I just stopped clearing them up. So yeah, the achievement is finish a day with a mess on at least 10 tiles. Easy.
That was...
Don't even have to think about that one.
That's what I put down as one of the 2 easiest achievements as well.
Okay.
The other one I picked is called Chef School, where you activate practice mode during preparation time. So basically, we did it a number of times just to make sure that our kitchen was set up in a way that was actually going to work for making our meals properly. Because sometimes you can have all of the implements and appliances you need to make everything, but you might put them somewhere where they're actually inaccessible, and then you will fail your day. So
yikes.
Yeah. Sometimes
and especially
everything's fine, but look, these sneakers are in this spot that blocks the one path that I needed to get to that one thing. Son of a bitch.
And especially if you're starting to automate your restaurant, like we would use practice mode a ton just to make sure like all our conveyors were actually like moving in the right direction and stuff, and things were moving to where they needed to be. So we used practice mode a ton.
Yeah, so it's like really easy, that achievement. It's like, you did practice mode. Nice.
Yeah, like if you're going for all achievements, you're guaranteed to get that one at some point.
Fair enough, that makes sense.
For hardest achievement, I put Overtime 15, which is where you reach Overtime Day 15. So that is once you have played 15 days of your restaurant, you franchise it, and if you go back into it, you start on Overtime Day 1, and on until you reach Overtime 15, which is you can go past it in the game, but that's the last Overtime achievement, thank God. And we could like very easily get to about Overtime 7 or 8 probably was very easy for us. We would do that every time.
I feel like we got close to 10 most times.
Yeah.
Or got to
10.
But 7, 8, not hard.
But then always around 10 and onwards, it steps up a lot. And if you haven't reduced your customers enough throughout building up to Overtime 10, you're really gonna struggle. Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Interesting.
I mean,
so you basically have to go 30 days.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
And just a side note, I remember when we unlocked this for me, we were playing a very gimmicky Thanksgiving restaurant.
Was it Thanksgiving or Christmas?
I thought it was Thanksgiving. We were serving a turkey anyway, so it was something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just we basically had 2 massive tables of I could seat 10 people or something. So it was never a problem to seat people, and so there was no real chance of us failing. So it was kind of a gimme to get there. But I think apart from that, and when we got Robby the achievement, I don't know if we've got to Overtime 15 more than twice.
Oh wow!
I don't think so. I think we've only ever done it 2 times, and yeah, the first time, like John said, it was kind of it's kind of a cheese because it was like a special event where it was made really easy. Like it's mostly just a slog because the days go by really slow. Like I think patience for customers was like almost infinite, basically. So you just had to, like,
that's right.
You just had to make all the food that they wanted, and so if you played it long enough, you could get to overtime day 50. But then when we did it the second time, for me, it was actually more difficult. I think we still did it with an easier recipe of some kind. I don't know if it was an event, but yeah, it was definitely way more difficult. And that's also what I said was the hardest achievement. But I wouldn't say that's the most time-consuming necessarily to get, because serve a stir-fry to a customer one is the last achievement I got, because you have to get so much experience to unlock the stupid recipe so you can do the achievement.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only 3.7% of people have the overtime day 15. So
weird, because when I googled this, I'll link this in the description down below. I'm on like the Steam page, but not like in Steam, just like through Google, through Chrome. And I'm looking at the global statistics. It says 4.5%.
Yeah, I see 4.5 as well.
What? I looked today and okay, I gotta look it up again.
I'm looking at it right now. Like, I can link this if you want me to.
Yeah, I did my notes yesterday and it said 4.5, so that's where my numbers are coming from.
Huh?
Oh, no, I must have picked the wrong one.
There's probably the one just below it or something.
I had a different thing. That's okay. Here.
I see. I can see exactly where you got that from.
I was gonna mention. I had it written down here. I was gonna mention that the achievement with the fewest people that have it is not either of those. It's a different one called Oh No. That's where the 3.7% came from.
Right, the rarest one. Yes.
It's set a customer on fire. So.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay. So, Robbie, going with you for the starter on this one. Outside of the previously mentioned two, so the hardest and easiest, what were the most and least fun for you?
I have written down here. I mean, lighting a customer on fire was kind of fun. I can't lie.
Wait, in real life or in the game?
No comment.
Yes. I mean, no comment. And then I said, same with completing a day when the restaurant has been on fire for more than 15 seconds. Or completing a day with 10 appliances on fire at once. Wow, there's a lot of fire here.
Why do all of these involve fire? Are you a pyromaniac?
I should blame the dev, honestly.
The dev's a pyromaniac.
A lot of fire achievements in there.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So, the fire ones are probably the most fun, honestly. Just because, like... It's actually, most of the time, remarkably hard to set things on fire. There are some appliances...
I mean, I would hope so.
The microwave, really easy to just light things on fire. You open and close the door twice with something in there, it's on fire.
That's not how a microwave works.
It is. Trust me. I've used one for 100 hours.
Yeah, we've played a lot of Played Up. We know what we're talking about.
Hang on, do I need to get your partner / like John, your girlfriend, and Robbie, your wife in here to be like, and ask them, have they lit the house on fire using a microwave yet?
No comment.
Because if not, I feel like I need to message them just in private and be like, listen, keep your husband or boyfriend away from microwaves.
Don't let them use microwaves.
Fun fact, when we moved in, the previous owners of our house left their microwave, and the microwave is older than we are.
Jeez,
John
really?
and
Jesus.
We don't have it anymore. We gave it to my in-laws because they wanted it.
Oh.
It's. I looked at the manual. The manual was printed in Japan in 1989.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I was like, what the heck? And yeah, that thing, my wife likes to use flax bags, like heat them up, kind of like a hot water bottle, but water, just for warmth or, if her stomach's upset or whatever. And they've survived every microwave they've ever been into, except for this old-ass microwave. That thing burned holes in so much when you put it in there, so it didn't really light things on fire, but almost.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, that is pretty bad. I remember. Sorry, this was not me. I want to stress this very much.
Uh-huh.
This was my first year of university in the college, in the dorms, there was this other kid. I'll say his name was John. It was not
What?
actually John. This is just for it's protecting his identity.
By giving him
No,
mine?
screw it. His real name was Josh. That's why it kind of defaulted to John.
You stop protecting
Anyway,
his
this
identity.
is just yeah. I realized I hate Josh. I don't care. Anyway,
Fuck Josh.
he decided to microwave like the microwavable KD craft dinner, except he didn't put water in it.
Oh.
So the microwave almost caught fire, and we had to evacuate the building because the fire alarm went
Oh
off.
jeez.
Oh my.
Yeah, he was an 18-year-old who did not know how to take care of himself. Anyway, he almost lit the building on fire with the microwave. So I mean, I know it's possible.
It's doable.
Okay.
It's just not easy to do so.
Yeah, apparently. The rest of the appliances in the game, they don't do that. Like, I think the Danger Hub's the only other one that actually light things on fire, and the microwave is just, I don't know why. It's just like, yeah, fire! Everything else is like, your food's burned. Oops. So, the fire ones are kind of fun.
Huh.
Yeah.
And what about the least fun for you?
The least fun. Like, honestly, probably the stir fry one. Just because
Okay.
it was a slog to get there. Like, we were having fun playing it, but it's just like, how the hell have I not gotten this stupid thing unlocked? Like, after so
Mhm.
many hours of playing. And not just, like, playing and doing poorly. Like, playing really well. How have we not
Mhm,
unlocked
mhm.
this yet?
No, that's fair. It does sound like an absolute pain in the ass.
What about you, John? What was yours?
Least fun. I'll echo yours. Like, it wasn't not fun playing the game for so long, but like it was very much like, we've played this for 90 hours. We are, I think, very good at the game at this point. Like, how is it taking so long? I feel like they should adjust the XP gains
Yeah.
in
Mhm.
the game so it doesn't take you 30 plus hours to unlock everything, because it's a long time. It really is. Most fun, I put the Work Smart achievement, which is where you complete a day
Okay.
without any player leaving the tile they started on.
That's fun.
Oh my.
It was just, it just took a little bit of creativity. Like, I think we like boxed Robby into the kitchen with like, an oven like right next to him and everything, all the appliances he needed, all around him in one tile. I only stood on one tile surrounded by tables. It was just a very fun, gimmicky achievement to try and puzzle out. So that was the
Now
most
see,
fun.
that would have made a really interesting video.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why we didn't. I don't know.
It took
we've
all of
played.
like 5 minutes to do it, so...
You could have made it a YouTube short. That would have popped off. Like, just being like, oh, Plate Up Challenge Run as a YouTube short. Like, man, you would have gotten at least 10,000, I'd guess. Challenge runs are huge.
On YouTube Shorts? Hell no. I only got like a couple hundred.
Still, I mean, like, challenge runs, though, and like stuff like that, you find the right one, it's going to pop off.
It's not like you don't even have to do a challenge run. It's literally just one day. I think we just did the very first day and then just went back to our normal restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay,
think
gotcha.
we're just like, yeah, I think we could do that one this day. And then we just set up the kitchen that way and then put it all back afterwards.
Fair enough.
Because it's
Fair
very
enough.
much
Okay,
not
okay.
sustainable
Yeah.
to do like a full
Yeah.
run like that. So yeah, we just did the one day. But it was a fun puzzle to figure it out.
There you go. New video idea. Just try to make a whole run out of that.
I mean, yeah. It's
And
possible.
you can call it "We survived 15 days without moving."
That would be insane.
It would be actually bonkers.
that would be interesting.
Just think of all the clickbait.
I don't know. Is Plate Up good for clickbait anymore?
No, don't call it Plate Up. Just have your title be "I survived 15 days without moving." Just like put, I don't know, like a wilderness setting or something. Like, don't let people know it's Plate Up.
Ah, good idea.
Clickbait the shit out of people.
Jeez.
Absolutely. Anyway, so I have a question that's not quite in the script, but it's one I thought of. What were your most and least favorite recipes to cook in the game?
Ooh.
John, let's go with this one because Robbie opened up the last one.
I think most fun is probably just pizza. That's
Okay.
the one we usually defaulted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because pizza, you can't modify it too much. You can only do like cheese pizza, which is the starting, or you can add onion, or you can add mushrooms. So they're all pretty manageable recipes. And as far as I can remember, that is the easiest recipe to automate, which is a lot of fun. Automating recipes or automating your kitchen is a ton of fun. So I think I would go for that.
You're wrong, though.
What?
Oh,
because fish is easiest to automate.
Yeah, fish is easier. Fish was pretty.
I don't know.
Okay.
Fish is pretty fun. I think I would still say pizza's more fun because one pizza serves 4 customers, which is nice. It just makes it easier in the kitchen. But yeah, fish are good as well.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite recipe off the top of your head?
I think I liked fish a lot, honestly.
Okay.
But also, I would probably say pizza because pizzas are just like you said, kind of simple and easy to automate. So it's a good time.
Okay. Interesting. So let's go with least favorite recipe. What was the most annoying one? Like outside of the unlock conditions, outside of like the level you need to unlock and have the recipe become available. What was the most the least fun to actually have to make and build?
In the game, in the entire game, or just like the base recipes?
In the entire game. Why not?
I think in the entire game, the worst recipe to make is pumpkin pie.
Pumpkins. That's what I was going to say. Pumpkins.
I remember this one. You guys were so mad.
Oh yeah, we did it in one of the videos.
I hate pumpkin soup. I hate pumpkin pie. In reality, I love pumpkin pie. But in the game, okay, it's a bit better now that we know that the compost bin exists, so you can just burn all your pumpkin seeds away. But anything where in order to get the actual usable part of your ingredient, you need to remove something and throw it out. That's just the worst because garbage disposal is really annoying.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean what to do a meat pie or something, it's literally you water the flour, you roll it into a pie. I think you don't even chop the meat, you just throw a steak in there and you cook it and it's done.
Yep.
But for the pumpkin pie, you have to do the flour stuff, but you also have to take a full pumpkin, carve it, take out the innards, throw out the innards, or take out the innards, take the seeds out of the innards, throw out the innards, and just put the seeds in or something like that.
Oh my god, this sounds awful.
Just so many steps. It takes so long, and if you don't have time to
yeah, I think we'll agree that anything with pumpkins, but the worst base recipe, I already talked about it a bit, was the steak, I think, just because I don't know, the icons of rare, medium, and well done aren't that reliable, that they don't tell you that clearly which one it is. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I just don't think steaks were very fun to cook or serve or anything.
No, that's totally fair. Okay. Interesting. I knew you guys had some big problems with pumpkins because I remember that from the video. So I was really curious to see what would come out of it. I'm not too surprised about that though.
Yeah, pumpkins are dreadful.
Okay. So moving on from that, John, I think we're with you on this one. Sorry, it's because I keep adding stuff. So
that's okay.
We already know that the most the rarest one on the list is Oh No, and for that you have to set a customer on fire. So my question to you guys is, why do you think this one is so rare? Why would people not be just setting all of their customers on fire?
I think it's because your fires only start in the kitchen, and they only start on your appliances. Like Robby said, it's pretty much just the microwave that's going to light on fire. You can leave a fish on a hob, and it'll just burn, and then it'll stop cooking somehow and won't light on fire.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to get any fires out in the dining area of your restaurant unless you've put a microwave out there, which I think is what we did for the achievement. I think we literally just.
I was about to ask, what did you guys do?
I think we put a microwave next to someone's table, waited for someone to sit, and just like slammed the door closed so it would light on fire.
Oh my god!
You have to be doing everything so wrong to get that achievement accidentally, which is kind of great.
Yeah, like
that's fair.
It's so hard to accidentally set a customer on fire. Like you can pretty easily accidentally set several appliances on fire. Like you could theoretically get the other fire achievements accidentally, but like fire is never going to be out in the dining area, and customers are never going to be that close to the appliances in the kitchen, if at all in the kitchen. So it's just, if you're not looking it up, you're not going to get this one.
Now
that makes sense.
That said, maybe there's a case if you're like a solo player where you would put your dining tables in your kitchen for easier access or something, so you don't have to like, go out. And then maybe because you're by yourself, something lights on fire from like a danger hob or something, and then it gets out of hand faster than you can, manage it, and then it lights a customer on fire. So maybe it's easier to do as like a single player, but like the 2-person setup that we've got, chef and waiter basically, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Robbie, would you agree with John's reasoning as to why this is the rarest?
Yep, I would.
Okay, fair enough. So, then, Robbie, back to you again. What was the most memorable achievement for you, and why did it leave such an impression? This can be good or bad. Like, you pick as to why it was memorable.
I think it was the first time we got the overtime day 15. That was, like...
Okay.
It felt so good to have gotten that far. Rather, not overtime day 15. I was thinking of the first time we got to day 15.
Okay.
That's the one that really stuck in my mind. The achievement's called New Chef Plus. So you create a franchise, basically. Or maybe that's what happens after you failed, but you have to have gotten to day 15. So when we first started, we were pretty awful, realistically. Like, we sucked. And so the first time we actually got to day 15 and created our first franchise, that was pretty amazing, because like, yes, we finally did it after weeks and weeks of trying. We finally managed to get the restaurant to day 15. I'm trying to remember what recipe we chose for that. Do you remember, John?
I don't remember exactly. I think it might have been a pizza. But like we definitely franchised it, and we kept it. So like theoretically we could just boot up my plate up and find out, or like go through all my franchised restaurants and see which one it was.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But I think pizza is probably pretty likely.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. All right, and how about you, John? What was the most memorable one for you?
Mine was the exact same one Robbie just said.
That's awesome.
I said it was the New Chef Plus because it, like exactly like Robbie said, we struggled so much at the start of the game. Not even like because we were bad. It's just there is a huge learning curve in this game. So like it just takes a long time to get used to the systems. So when we got this achievement, which meant we'd finally got to overtime, we'd finally gone 15 days in our restaurant. It was huge. It really just made it solidified that, hey, we've actually learned this game and we've actually got decently good at this game.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's great. Okay. So John, you one more time. Is there an achievement you would remove from the game, and why?
Yeah, there is actually. There's one called Learning by Doing, which is where you you throw away a cooked fish in the tutorial.
Okay.
And it's just like... such... It doesn't gel with the rest of the game. I don't know why it's called Learning by Doing, because in...
Like, what are you learning?
In the actual game, like, you're never gonna throw away a cooked dish. You know?
I mean, you're gonna throw away a burnt dish, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But no, this is like... It wants you to throw away a perfectly good cooked fish that you would serve to a customer. And you have to do it in the tutorial. And it's just a really weird achievement. I don't really know why it's there.
The only time
that is strange.
Only time that it would happen that you would throw away a cooked thing is if you cooked the wrong one, and you picked it up, put it on a plate, and you couldn't put it down anywhere because you had too much stuff on counters or whatever, and the only way that you could get the right thing to the customer would be if you threw it out so you could use the plate. That's the only situation.
All right. That sounds so specific.
Yeah, so it is weird. And like,
Yeah, I wouldn't say you learn anything by doing it.
did we
Oh,
even
that's fair.
start with fish? Or do you unlock fish later?
Jeez, I don't remember now, actually. I feel like you possibly unlock it later.
Yeah, and so that's another thing. Like, why the hell are you doing the tutorial and throwing away a fish when you've already played the game so long that you unlocked fish and don't have to throw
Okay, so it's not like it was like the first tutorial ever. Like you had to go back to the tutorial and do it.
Yeah,
It
I'm pretty
was
sure-
the first tutorial ever, but like, just nobody would do that when they first boot up the tutorial. And once you've done like one run in your restaurant, you're never going to open the tutorial again.
Yeah. Oh man, that is a strange one. Okay.
Like, it's really easy to do.
Okay.
I just don't think it belongs.
Maybe it was
Mhm.
like an accidental thing, like the garbage bin is too close to the stove, and so you cook the fish, you put it on a plate, and then you accidentally threw it in the garbage. Like, oh, you learned by doing. You have to do it again.
Maybe you learned not to put your garbage too close or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Even still though.
I'm reaching.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird. Okay. Robbie, how about yourself? What is the is there one you would remove from the game?
I didn't think that there was one I would remove from the game, but I've changed my mind now that John brought that up.
Uh oh.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Same one. Throw a fish away in a tutorial.
Okay.
It's like it seems weird to have in a game like this where all of the other achievements are tied to doing stuff while like actively running your restaurant, to have one where it's like,
Mhm.
oh, you don't do that in the actual game.
Okay, fascinating. Okay. It's weird how many you guys agree on, but then like how many you also disagree on.
Yeah, I think we've agreed on most so far.
Yeah.
You seem to like agree on like usually the negative ones, like what was the worst, but then you tend to disagree more on like what was the best one.
I think that speaks to the game being fun. Like, there's so many different ways you can have fun in it. Lighting restaurants on fire.
And there's so many ways that it's like guaranteed to be just awful.
Yeah, I mean, the only awful part I think is just the slow XP. Really.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's probably the worst part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So, Robbie, again for you. Actually, sorry. There's one more I wanted to do. Is there a recipe you guys would want to take out of the game, if you given the chance?
Pumpkin.
Those pumpkin pies, man.
So, anything related to pumpkin?
Yeah, I think honestly. Yeah.
I mean,
Just
like pumpkin pie is pretty awful, but I feel like if pumpkin pie is the only thing you're doing and you have the right setup, it could be okay. One thing that kind of sucked that we tried to avoid all the time was a lot of side dishes, because sometimes you could have like your main dish and then you would get nailed with like, oh, you have to choose a side, and then the next time the card came out, it's like, oh, you have to choose another side, and then sometimes we had like 3 sides that we had to choose from, or like starters. Starters were kind of rough too sometimes. So I don't.
yeah.
Gotcha.
But
I don't-
nothing was
yeah,
as
I don't
bad
know.
as pumpkin pie. So.
Okay.
It's not even
okay.
just pumpkin pie. Like, it's even pumpkin soup needs you to dismantle your pumpkin and have the correct garbage system to deal with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the first time
Okay,
we took
interesting.
pumpkins, we literally just had garbage bags strewn all around the kitchen because we couldn't get rid of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The pie is rough though.
That's fascinating.
Because you have to knead the flour or like dough. Like you either have to, I think you generally have to mix it with water, or you just mix it and then you have to knead it into like a pie crust, and then you have to cook it until it's like a baked pie crust, and then you have to fill it and cook it again.
That's
So
right.
that's-
Yeah.
It's a lot of steps for pie, and so if your filling isn't just a grab whatever, shove it in there, and then cook it kind of filling, it's awful.
Yeah, you're right.
That does sound pretty bad. Oof.
Yeah.
Okay. And John, you're kind of on the same. Yeah, so yeah, you guys are both of the same mindset of eliminate pumpkin.
Yeah, pumpkin
Okay.
pie specifically.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, Robbie, is there an action or way of playing that you think should have an achievement?
I kind of wish there were like more achievements for automation, because there's so many different ways that you can do automation in the game, and they have one. Let me try and find it here. Basically, it's like complete a day without anyone serving a customer directly. So,
Right.
but I think we cheesed it. Like, it was very easy to do because we just like put a conveyor belt next to the table and we just slapped the plate onto the conveyor belt, and then the conveyor belt put it onto the table. So it was like technically not serving the customer directly, but it's not like we had a fancy system that was set up to, pull it and deliver things to the right place. It was just kind of a cheeky little cheat. So I think more achievements around automating things would have been pretty awesome.
That's fair. Okay. John, how about you? Do you think there's an achievement or way of playing?
Yeah, so this might be a controversial one for you especially.
Wait, for me or for Robbie?
For you.
Ooh.
So, like I said earlier, there's various updates to the game that add like seasonal events where it introduces new dishes. So like we were talking about like turkey dinner for Thanksgiving or Christmas. I can't remember which one it was.
Okay, yeah.
But the only recipe related achievements in the game are just the recipes that are in the base game. So
Oh no.
I think there should be achievements added for every new recipe that gets added.
Oh god, no.
And I know Taylor
don't
really
keep adding
despises
achievements.
when games add achievements after the fact, but I am of the opposite mind, and I think this game should have added achievements for every new recipe that gets added.
Oh god, why?
I think it would depend on the game and in what capacity things got added to me. Like, for this one, I would be all for having extra achievements to complete. Just because
like,
I have I have so much fun playing the game. It's like, oh sweet, like an extra reason to play the game. Awesome.
Yeah, and it's like a new
Gotcha.
recipe every 4 months or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, interesting.
It does pose a problem though,
Okay.
because we play the game, we 100% it, we do this podcast, a new achievement comes out, we have to go delete the whole podcast. Like, it's just
Not quite. If push comes to shove and there was a reasonable number of achievements added, I would just say hey, let's do a quick update episode.
That has happened
Just link
once,
that in the description.
by the way.
Oh yeah.
Really? Oh, wow.
Wait, with
I
which
think
game?
the second episode we ever did, I talked about Ghostwire Tokyo, which
Oh, right.
added 12 or 15 achievements over a year later.
So you had
We
to go
never did an
delete the
update.
podcast.
No.
No, we just
But
didn't do the update.
part of that too is the other game that was covered there was Modern Warfare, which is never going to get an update. The remaster of the original Modern Warfare. So it's yeah, okay. I completely forgot they had added achievements to Ghostwire Tokyo. Maybe we'll do an update episode sometime in the new year.
I remember I was recording footage and I was gonna do my own video on it, and I think I decided against it because I don't remember why. But
Tell you what, we will plan for a 1-year anniversary release update video
okay,
of that episode.
excellent.
So there we go. If new achievements are added to a game, we will update it on the 1-year anniversary just to make sure that most, if not all, of the new achievements have been covered. Given that, like you said, John, it was almost a year later that those were added.
Yeah, it was a while later. Yeah. Okay.
So, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond, thank you so much for being here, for listening. You've reached the halfway mark. Please don't forget to check out the Noiseberry Games channel. Especially check out the Plate Up series, which is linked in the description down below. Remember, you can find this podcast on almost every major podcast platform. Follow me, John, presumably Robbie, on the social medias, the Twitters, the whatever others they have. I will make sure those are linked in the description down below. And with that, we will get back into the episode. Okay, so John, I guess we'll move on to you if that's all right.
Yep.
Are you able to soft lock yourself out of any achievements?
No, it's a roguelike game, so I don't think there's any achievement that you would not be able to get without like starting a new run or pretty much at any point in your current run, unless it's recipe related.
That makes sense.
Unless you uninstall your game, then you soft lock whatever you have.
That's hard locked, isn't it?
Very true. No, not quite, because a soft lock is one that can be not necessarily reversed, but like you can get around it or you can correct it at some point.
Okay.
Whereas a hard lock is like you would have to either start a brand new playthrough from the beginning, or you'd have to, you just could not get it no matter what.
Right. Okay. So yeah, definitely not either of those in this one, I don't think.
Yeah. No.
Okay. How about you, Robbie? Actually, there's no real point in me asking you that. I was like, wait, why did I just say
I appreciate that you care about my input.
Oh, of course, always. Okay. So, Robbie, for this one, how many times do you need to play the game, technically, to get all achievements? So obviously it's going to be one time, but let me reverse it. How many runs, if you were to say
Jesus.
get to at least day 15 on every run, do you think you would need to do?
So many.
That's all I put. I put many.
So many.
I love the very detailed answers.
I said, since it's sort of a roguelike, if you consider each restaurant as a time, the answer is many, many times. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
I don't think I could even like ballpark a guess of how many like restaurants you'd have to do.
Like, I don't know how many we've franchised, but we franchised a lot. I feel like we franchised together more than 20 different restaurants.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think definitely at least 20.
Okay, fair enough.
And that's mostly just down to like the experience requirements, because you just have to keep going, level 10 onwards, trying to unlock the last recipes.
Now,
yeah, that makes sense.
If you didn't keep your franchise and you just turned it in for XP every time, a bit less than many.
You don't
many minus like 3.
Yeah,
you don't get that much experience from getting rid of your franchised restaurant.
Well, you just don't get that much experience.
That's true. There is a way of getting a ton of experience. Still not a ton, but if you go back into a restaurant you franchised and you re-franchise it, you can turn it in for a bunch more experience. But if you fail at any point trying to re-franchise it, you just lose it and you don't get any of that experience. So,
fun.
I think we only ever like went in to try and re-franchise like twice the whole time we played.
I think there was one restaurant that we did really well on. Like, we went in and we re-franchised it again, and then we almost did it a third time. But like, re-franchising is really hard because you lose all of the advantages that you have when you first go into it. So when you first start, you have very limited recipes available to you. So like, you start cooking one thing, and then you get more things added, and it reduces the number of customers. Well, when you start your franchise, you have any of the recipes that you kept when you basically choose cards at the end. You have to choose a certain number of cards. And any of those ones that you kept, that's what you start with. So it can get...
I see.
Yeah, it can get pretty hectic. I swear, we must have done it 2 or 3 times on one of them. We had so many cards active.
Yeah, I do think there's one that we refranchised a couple of times, but I definitely remember like losing one we were trying to refranchise like pretty close to the end and be like, well, that was a bunch of experience we could have got.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's and then depending on what you want to do, like sometimes we just really wanted to have fun doing fish automation, and you kind of screw yourself if you franchise fish, because you start and you just have all the fish unlocked, and it's like, now it's just gonna be painful every time forever.
Yeah.
So
Oof.
yeah.
All right then. Well, there's another challenge for an idea. See how many times you can franchise a single restaurant.
Oh boy. I
We
mean,
only do pizza.
We only do pizza.
There you go. No, just call it we only do X, but like actually put X on there. Just like have it be Twitter themed.
We only do Twitter.
John, it's X, excuse me.
It's not.
We only did Twitter.
It is. It's not. Okay, so, John, I guess this one's for you. Does this game reward you for getting all the achievements? Like, is there any sort of tangible reward for getting any of the achievements?
There is, actually. I said
What?
no, but I just remembered there is.
What?
One of the
Okay.
updates, they added a room in your home base, in your lobby or whatever. And that room tracks what recipes you got unlocked. And it's also got a statue of a chef there with the number of achievements you've got. And once you've got all achievements, it turns gold.
Okay, that's very Hades-esque, because Hades does something similar where the more runs you do at like higher heat and stuff, because that's also a roguelite, the better statue you unlock.
Yeah, I forgot about that until just now. But yeah, I guess it does technically give you some kind of tangible in-game reward.
That's
At least it's something.
yeah.
Yeah, it's something. Usually that answer is no.
Yeah, I said no.
I wrote down
Well,
no, and
Robbie,
Odie
you're
just
a
remembered
liar.
now.
Huh, alright then. Okay, so Robbie, for you, outside of the fact that it apparently does reward you, do you feel like the achievements themselves are rewarding?
I think that's some of the more obscure ones definitely feel rewarding. Like,
Okay.
because it's just fun to try and think of like, okay, how do we set up our kitchen so we can light as much shit on fire as possible?
Yeah.
You know, those types of weird ones. Or like, I'm trying to remember, John, if you and I did this one legitimately when we did it for you. I know when we did it for myself, it definitely wasn't legit. We like practiced it a whole bunch of times, but there is one where it's like, I'm trying to find it. Like, you have to like serve something to a customer with like barely any time left at all before you're about to fail.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I think we definitely had to just like
Serve a
trial and error
customer.
that one.
Yeah, serve a customer with less than a second to spare.
Ooh, that's really close.
So-
Yeah, because
That's-
there's no.
Like that one's really, I would say, easy to do accidentally comparatively. Like,
Mhm.
you know,
We didn't.
but we didn't. We were so good that we never had that happen
Yeah.
accidentally.
Oh wow.
But like, you know, if you're running behind, I swear we might have done yours, like legitimately. Like we just snuck something in right before it was about to.
I definitely remember like just trying over and over, like restarting a day over and over until we got it.
I think that was for mine.
But maybe that was just for you. Maybe I accidentally unlocked it in mine. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does sound like a nail biter when you're not trying for it.
Yeah.
Or sorry, when you are trying
Yeah.
for it, because like you gotta get that so precisely.
Yeah, and
There's,
it's
like,
not
there's no like timer. There's only like a countdown bar, and like I feel like the bar isn't that accurate. Like when
Once
it
it's
reaches the
empty,
bottom,
yeah. It's
yeah,
not
when it reaches
actually
the
at
bottom, there's still some time.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's really hard to guess when like the second is starting.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
I really like those, you know, obscure ones that you have to kind of work towards. Not that that one was obscure, but some of those other ones, I thought those are rewarding. But I think all of the food ones are not whatsoever, because it's like you unlock the recipe, you make your first one, and then it gets served to a customer, bam, you unlock it. And then that was also the thing. So I mentioned before, you have to do it when you're the host. At least when we did it,
Yeah.
you had to be the host. But you don't have to be the person to do the serving of that meal to get the achievement. You just have to be the
Okay.
host. So like, I was in the kitchen, I made the thing, I gave it to John. John handed it to the customer. I got the achievement for serving it to a customer. Didn't make any sense. So I don't think
No,
those
that's
ones are
fair.
rewarding, but the other ones I think are.
Mm-hmm. Okay, John, how about yourself?
Yeah, I agree that the recipe ones aren't rewarding. I said like the overtime achievements and the franchise related achievements especially are very rewarding because you know they're good indicators that you've managed to put together a pretty solid restaurant.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right, John. Does it feel like the devs cared about the achievements when making the game?
Yeah, I think so. There's some really fun ones. The artwork's all really cute for the achievements, which is always nice to see.
That's important.
It is
That
important.
super important.
But yeah, like, you know, the multiple setting things on fire achievements, those are pretty fun to add. Like, I don't know, I like those. I feel there's some creativity in the achievements.
Definitely.
Okay. Okay, Robbie, how do you feel outside of definitely?
The same, honestly. I think
Okay.
that aside from that stupid tutorial fish one, they're all pretty pretty awesome and fun and like thoughtful. It doesn't seem like they just like they could have copped out really hard. Like, get to day 1 of your restaurant, get to day 5, get to day 6. You know, they could have done it really lazily. But no, they picked some fun stuff.
Well, that's nice. Okay. Okay, so Robbie, does the game require you to get, do the achievements require you to like properly 100% the game, like get all like little collectibles or every little thing, or are there some things that can be left out but still get all achievements for?
Well, since you have to play a bajillion hours of the game in order to unlock the last meal, in order to, and then once you've done that, you can get all the achievements. Like, sort of, like,
Okay.
if 100% of the game means unlocking all of the recipes, then I guess so.
Well, are there any sort of like collectibles or other unlockables outside of the recipes?
No.
Okay, then yeah, I would say recipes counts as our unlock or 100% condition.
Yeah.
Okay, John, would you agree with that opinion?
Yeah, I said the same thing. Like, the only unlockable is the recipes. Like, once you get the last recipe, like, I think your XP bar goes up, but you're not going to unlock anything else. So yeah, like, by that definition, yeah, you have to 100% the game and then unlock every base game recipe.
Okay, good to know. So, Robbie, you mentioned something interesting when you said the last dinner, like the last meal. How would you guys feel, and this is going to be super controversial, about a Bible-themed one where you genuinely had to make the Last Supper and it being like this super level, you have to feed these people, you know, whatever, so let's say a 12-course meal, one for each apostle. How would you guys feel about something like that?
Honestly, I would be happy that they added anything new, and I would definitely give it a shot.
Okay. John, how about yourself?
Yeah, more content and played up, never a bad thing for me. I'll happily go back to this
even
game.
Even if all 12 courses were different?
Yeah, like what is it, like the finale of Overcooked is always like every recipe you've done, like all in one level. Yeah, I think that would be really fun and played up.
I think so too.
Okay. So, John, do the achievements feel unique in the genre? Now, I don't know how like wide or varied this genre is in terms of restaurant management games, but like if you were to compare it with things like Overcooked or I'm sure there's a couple other ones that either we've played or you've played on the channel.
I mean, the genre is restaurant roguelike or cooking roguelike. I don't think there's any other game like it. But like if we were looking at similar cooking games like Overcooked, I took a look at the Overcooked achievement list but didn't write down like any in particular, and I thought like the lists looked fairly similar, at least with the content that would match between them, because Overcooked doesn't have the roguelite element, obviously.
Yeah, different base structure.
Yeah, so I think sort of, but I think a lot of the cooking achievements are kind of similar ones you would see in similar games like Overcooked.
Okay. Robbie, how about you? Do you feel like these are... I don't know how much experience you have with other cooking games or other things of this genre. Do you feel like this one is unique, or is it kind of maybe a little similar?
So pretty much aside from this, I've only really played Overcooked, and I think I played it only on Switch myself, and I don't think there are achievements on it. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
I don't think it no, because it's Nintendo, and Nintendo is vehemently against achievements.
Yeah, I don't know why, but regardless, yeah, so all the ways that I've played Overcooked, there's never been achievements, so I can't really say.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so Robbie, did you guys use, especially with your playthrough, did you use any guides, or are there any guides like on the internet you would recommend people use when going for all achievements?
We definitely referred to the wiki a whole bunch when trying to remember things or determine things. I don't know if you need to do that in order to get 100% achievements, but like just to set up things properly or make sure you're upgrading the right things the right way. They've made some changes and updates to quality of life items, like making some things kind of upgrade between two items instead of like, oh, the base one upgraded into the wrong thing. Now that's crap and garbage to you. It's useless.
Gotcha.
So I don't think you need to use the guide to get 100% achievement.
Okay, John, how about you? Would you recommend people use a guide, or are you of a similar mindset?
Just for the purpose of achievements, no, you don't need a guide for the achievements. Like, the description says everything you need to know, and like nothing is too complicated that you can't figure it out on your own. Like, nobody moving from their starting spot for a single day, like you can figure that out yourself. I don't think there's any that would need a guide.
Okay, fair enough. I will link the wiki in the description down below just in case, just if it does make things easier for people, but you heard it here first, folks, or at least maybe not first, but you heard it here. You don't really need one, just play with some friends. Okay, so, John, has this changed the way you look at the game now? And do you regret going for all achievements?
Obviously, I don't regret going for all achievements. Like, I think it probably kept us playing a little bit longer than we might have otherwise. But like I said earlier, we would have gone back to it by this point already if we hadn't had to skip the last 4 weeks of playing games together. So like,
that's fair.
No regrets whatsoever. Has it changed the way I look at the game now? Like, we're definitely better at it for having done all achievements. So I guess so. Like, there's a YouTube channel I watch quite a bit called Hat Films, and
link for that in the description down below. Okay,
sweet, plug Hat Films.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they definitely started playing the game at the same time as Robbie and I did, but obviously they don't, just cover a single game. So they come back to it every once in a while, and my god, it is painful to watch how bad they are compared to how good Robbie and I are. Like, it's really hard to look at other people play the game because we've got almost 100 hours experience in it. Like, we know how to set up a decent kitchen and stuff like that.
Okay.
That said, there are other people who are even better.
Sorry, go ahead, Robbie.
There are other people who are even better at doing it than we are. They do some really crazy stuff.
I don't watch them either, though.
Yeah, true.
We are the pinnacle.
Yeah, John only watches people who are worse than him.
Exactly.
Yeah, just to see.
It's a very small pool. I'm kidding.
He watches other people that are worse than us just to make sure that he's seeing that there are people worse than us. And he's like, hey, good. Yep, we're the peak still. Nice.
Yep, nobody better.
Yep. Just got a controlled worldview.
Exactly.
Live in my bubble.
Okay, Robbie, how about you? Has this changed the way you look at the game?
I don't think it changed how I look at the game. I just want them to do more updates and release more new content so I can keep playing it and have it be a bit fresh every time.
Okay. So I wanna play off something John had said. Robbie, do you watch other people who play this game, and if so, if they are what you would deem worse than you, in other words, absolute trash garbage, they should never play the game again. Does it frustrate you? Like, I'm quoting John word for word there. Does it frustrate you? Like, do you think it's harder to kind of watch people who have less experience now that you have so many hours in the game?
I think it's definitely harder. And if I had to watch it, I'd be like, oh my god, why is this so painful?
So in other words, I should start a solo series on Plate Up tonight, so you guys can just cringe.
Yeah.
That'll be my only comment. You suck.
Wait,
Get good,
you'll,
nerd.
You'll do a series on it, and then we'll record our reactions.
A reaction to it.
Yeah.
And then I'll record my reaction to your reaction, and then the meta will continue.
Yes,
That'd be,
exactly.
I mean, that would be
And then-
kind of interesting, actually. Like a complete noob playing, and like us with 100 hours experience, like commentating over it, being like, "Oh yeah, we would do this bit differently" and stuff like that.
And then someone with like 300 hours commentating on that, being like, "No, I would actually do it like this."
True.
And then it'll eventually get big enough where XQC will react to it without saying a thing, and he just won't be on screen the entire time. And then we've truly made it in the YouTube and Twitch meta.
God, that'd be good.
And we're working the algorithm. We make money on every single reaction to the reaction.
Yeah.
I don't make money. I'm not monetized. I have 31 subscribers.
No.
I mean,
You'll
the buck
make
starts
money.
with us.
You'll make money on this.
Oh god. All right, we're getting a little too meta. Okay, so Robbie, starting off with you for this one, would you recommend others go for the all achievements? Why or why not? And what kind of players would enjoy the journey? You know, like who would enjoy it, who would hate it? And finally, do you recommend doing it with other people, or do you think it could be done alone?
I think, why not go for it? And the game's fantastic, and going for the achievements just adds a little bit extra of like a goal for you to work towards, because since it's a roguelike, whatever you want to call it, and the goal is just to franchise your restaurant, it can get a little repetitive, I suppose. So having the achievements as like a guide of like things that you can work towards, that's kind of cool. I think that's cool. As for what kind of people would enjoy it versus hate it, I feel like if you get bored of games easily, you like play a game for just a couple hours and then switch it up. This one might not be for you, especially getting 100% achievements because of the amount of time required at the moment for the XP grind. So, if you like co-op games, then definitely. But yeah, and then as for playing it single player and trying to do all the achievements, I don't know. I feel like this game, in part, is so fun because Jon gets to play together. I don't think I would have the same feelings or experiences, like feelings towards my experiences of the game, if I hadn't played it with Jon. So.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, Jon, how about yourself?
Yeah, I'm sure it's doable solo. Well, I'm not sure, but I think it's doable solo, but I wouldn't recommend doing it solo. I'm sure, like, if Robbie partway through had said, like, we've played this enough, I'm ready to move on, I wouldn't have gone to get all the achievements that were left by myself. I think it's definitely best to do this with a friend.
Okay.
And also, like, if you don't like roguelikes and having to restart from the beginning with very little meta progression, would not recommend it to those kinds of people.
So, okay, one more question for both of you guys then, because you both said, do it with other people. What do you think would be the ideal party size for getting all achievements? Like, would it be the full 4, or do you think a smaller party was easier to deal with?
I think we had this discussion a couple times when we were playing, and sometimes it's like, I wish we had a third person to just clean dishes.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. So you need a busboy.
yeah.
Yes.
That would make life
Okay.
way easier. But then at the same time, I feel like adding more than 2 people to the mix would overcomplicate some things. Like, you either get people sitting around not doing things, or just getting in the way, or reducing efficiency. So I think, in my mind, 2 is a pretty great number of people for it. It's almost a sweet spot, but at the same time, I feel like it would be way easier to have a long-running franchise if we had 4 people. Just have that many more people to like help clean up a mess, or get food delivered, or clean plates, or clear tables. Like, it just would be easier, I think.
Okay. Jon, how about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I do think we've obviously never played it with more than just the 2 of us, but I do think a third person, I think a party of 3 is probably the ideal number, just because so many times towards the end I was complaining, like, man, I wish we had just a person dedicated to clearing the plates off the tables, washing them up, and putting them back into the clean plate stack, because even just running all the dishes to the tables was enough for me as one person. But I do know, like when we put out a video on Played Up one time, Whiskey Mongoose, previous guest on the podcast,
Indeed.
he sent me a message. He was like, man, it looks so smooth with just the 2 of you. Like, I play it with 3 other people, and it's just a goddamn mess the whole time. We're always running into each other, so... like, I don't know. I do think 3 would be best, but definitely 2. We'd never, like, had issues running into each other or anything like that.
Not true.
Okay.
Sometimes we do, but not badly enough that it's, like, irreparable.
No, you're right.
Oh, okay. All right. So, 4-player special with Jon, Robby, Chris, and I when?
I'd be down.
I mean, that would be so hard to have 2 people with 100 hours experience and 2 people with no experience.
It would be wild.
You could say, like, taught these 2 newbies everything.
Yeah, like...
You know what? John, you and I would have to be, like, on one side doing one thing, and then let them do all the other stuff. And then just, like...
Yeah.
Like...
Just completely separate.
Yeah, we would just be in the kitchen or something. We'd do all the cooking and you guys would do all the delivering.
Or if you want it to be really wild, they're in the kitchen and we just do the delivery.
That would be pretty fun, actually. I'd like that.
Okay, so a 4-player Played Up special, and also getting Robby to do a Dark Souls series with us in 2024. The 2 goals that we have now.
Okay, yeah, those are solid 2024 goals.
Okay.
Perfect. You heard it here first, folks. Potentially a 4-player Played Up special at some point, and potentially getting Robby into a Souls game at some point.
John and I had a Dark Souls 3 series.
Oh, right. Did you guys ever finish it?
John deleted it because he thought I wasn't interested, but I was.
Oh, yeah, we had this conversation during your episode.
I remember. Yeah, we did like 2.5 sessions.
And then, yeah, I was like, hey, are we going to do that? And you're like, no, because I deleted everything. I was like, oh, shit.
I do remember that this was, like, right when you were at the tail end of dropping off, like, the whole YouTube thing. Like, we never talked about it, actually, but, like, I remember I was like, okay, well, if he reaches out and asks to record, I'll know he's still interested. If he doesn't, it's, you know, we're just done with it, and... I think like a month went by and I was like, delete.
Right. Fair. But I think that's the only way I'd actually want to play Dark Souls, is cooperatively. So.
I totally.
That's the only way Taylor plays.
Okay. Yeah, pretty much. I've got a series of videos coming out about that next year, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, so yeah, thank you, ladies, gentlemen, everyone between and beyond for being here, for watching, for listening. Thank you, Jon and Robby, for being here. It was a great pleasure to have you. Always is.
Thank you for having us. Sorry it ran so long.
I'm totally fine with it.
It was just so much fun to talk about this game. This game is amazing. I think everyone should play it.
True.
Good. We will do our best to make sure it gets in front of more people. With that being said, thank you guys one more time for being here. Thank you for being here. And I guess we'll see you in the next one. Don't forget, this episode comes out on the 24th of every month. You will have seen it. The Soul Searching series comes out on the 5th of every month, and the Art Table's on the 14th of every month, so make sure to check all of those out. With that being said, we'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Bye!